We saw the video of the woman that fell chasing her baby stroller. I did here. I can talk about that real quick, I guess, because this lady caught a lot of shit for it.
The window too, man.
Oh,
She fell.
Yeah, she fell. Oh my gosh.
So this was all over Twitter, and I gotta be honest, clearly the take most people had is stupid Americans too fat to save their baby. That's not what my takeaway is. It really seems like she's disabled. Like, unrelated to weight things, just the way she moved. Like, I feel like she actually has like a disability, not like an obesity. And she also doesn't look that young either. I could be wrong, and it could all just be like obesity related, but I that's not how I looked at it. But luckily that guy was a fucking hero on standby. She's in her 60s. I mean, yeah, that tracks. That does track. Thanks for resub Chewy, Janice, Gonza, and the gift Sebastian, and the bits Andy and Koi. Being 60 and face planting that hard will fuck you up. Being 28 and face planting like that'll fuck you up. If I fell like that, I probably would have been down for the count. Even with all the adrenaline surging through my veins, that would have been the end of it. She must have been losing her mind in panic. Well, obviously. And that's a very real thing. I know that gets critiqued in horror movies a lot, but it's super legitimate in reality. That's grounded in reality. When you get scared or if something happens, you, like, everything goes out the window. So when you try and, like, run, you will pretty much always fucking fall. I've seen that shit happen in so many of those, like, old videos where someone gets, like, pranked or whatever and they, like, freak out and try and run away and they just start falling. Or in those CCTV videos where something bad happens and people are trying to get away. Everyone falls. Literally everybody. I thought stress was good for survival. It's actually the worst thing you can do. I think it was Mythbusters when they were doing the myth about the car turning turtle. So a car in a pool. I think they also cited that as the most dangerous thing they've ever tested. I believe the conclusion was panic would have actually killed him. Like, panicking almost killed him. The worst thing you can do in any situation is panic. And also the conclusion is it's very difficult to escape from a car that's going underwater. Thanks for another gift, sub solace, and the bits arrow. How the fuck did we evolve if we just turn into jelly when being chased? I don't know. It's a good point, I guess. Are you supposed to let the car fill all the way up with water? How about I just bring up the Mythbusters clip real quick? So, I believe what they wanted to test is, like, it should be easy to get out of a car that's submerging because once the car is fully underwater, you can just open the door and get out. But that's just not the reality of how these things go. A car does something called turning turtle, which is what happens here. For what it's worth, this was also something when I was fucking young and voice crack, young and dumb, I always got confused on how people, like, couldn't get out of their car in time. Because again, once the car is fully submerged and the pressure equalizes, you can just open the door and get out theoretically. But it is just not the way it plays out. And it's like the most scary and most terrifying thing in the fucking world. So it doesn't happen instantly, which is what I didn't realize either. So it takes time. The optimal thing to do is not wait for that, it's to break the window. You can't roll it down, obviously. So you have to break it. And there's a lot of ways of doing that. I think the one that got a lot of steam, and I don't know if it actually works, but if you take the headrest off of your seat and if you jam it in between that gap where the window meets the door and pull back, it should break the whole window, and that's when you get the fuck out. I don't know if that one actually works though, but that theory gathered a lot of steam. That one doesn't work? Oh, was that myth busted? Because I remember people used to tout that one a lot. You can't open the door until it fully equalizes, which is exactly what they showed here. So the car turned turtle, which means it went like... turning turtle is when it goes like on its shell. That's why it's called turning turtle, so it goes upside down like this. Filled the car up with water, so he had to hold his breath for way too long, more than most people could reasonably do, especially when panicking. Door won't open until it equalizes. It just takes too long. But yeah, once it does, you can. So I guess if you have incredible lung capacity, you could probably just wait it out, but usually you're supposed to break the window. Roll down the window. I mean, if you have a hand crank, like an old car, maybe you could do that. What do you think? How do you think the window rolls itself down? When you press that button, what do you think is happening? Magic. Yeah. Yeah, someone got it. It's electricity. When your car goes in the water, you know what's going to happen? You're going to lose the ability to do that. You can't just roll it down when you're in that position. It won't work. Now, I guess if you, like, slowly went into the water and immediately thought to, I guess you might have some time to roll it down a little bit. You could. Perhaps. But you'd have to, like, fucking plan for it. Is the Prime Forte and the Resub Moon, Sophile, Beefy, Zray, and the Prime Rika. Use the head of your key to hit the window and it should have a super weak crack point. I don't know that one. Apparently what I mentioned was proven wrong. I had always heard, because I think it was actually because of this, the big thing was you take your headrest off of the seat, you put it in between where the window meets the door, and you push back towards yourself, you crank it, and it was supposed to break your window. But all of chat said that that was proven wrong, so it's up in the air now. You probably just need like a special tool for it. $12 can run underwater, essentially. Oh, are you talking about for Windows? Maybe. I still don't... Would it... I'll look it up, because now I'm curious. Even if you did maintain, like, the ability to roll down the window, I still don't think it would open because of all the pressure of the water, but I'm curious. Let me look it up. Just need to drive around with a pre-shattered window. True. Check the second video. How to escape a shatterproof window underwater. Oh man, that's some Final Destination shit. Kick out the front window, it's easy. If your car is submerging, the pressure from the water is going to make it impossible to do that. In that case, you could have... If we're going to play by those fantasy rules, just open the door. But it's not going to happen. The pressure is too much. I'm curious now. God damn it. Can you actually not break the windows with the headrest? Let's see. Does this not really work?
Can you use a headrest to break out of a car?
That's what I just
Yes,
asked.
you can. It's not as easy as you may think, though. And hit as hard as you can.
Well, that's not what the... That wasn't... That was... pretty fucking cool, actually. That's not what the advice was, though. It was to put it in between where the window meets that door and crank it down. So I guess you do it up here and crank it down, but maybe that just doesn't work. That would not work underwater, though. Well, that's why you're supposed to crank it down. instead of like try and bash it. I'd heard that so often too. I just accepted that as the truth. God damn. Oh yeah, spark plugs. I guess if you have like a handful of spark plugs like pocket sand, you could just throw it at the window when you start submerging and break it. Spark plugs break this shit instantly. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Today's video is sponsored.
Actually, here, how about I just do the money shot here?
People say that
I'm surprised how many people didn't know that. Actually, I'm not that surprised. It sounds unreasonable. It takes just a very small fragment to do it. Like, that larger piece is still like a very fucking tiny little pencil tip.
should be good.
Exit tier 1, Elise. Why does that work? From what I remember reading, it's the ceramic in the spark plug, so this porcelain thing, the ceramic on it is so sharp that it can just immediately break through easily.
Oh. How'd that work?
Use the bigger one, yeah.
Oh. Got him.
Try throwing it underwater, though. I mean, yeah, it might be a little hard to do it underwater, but you don't necessarily have to throw it. You can just hit it. There's something oddly satisfying about seeing a car window break like that. That's just some random dude's car.
Alright folks, little fun fact from Neutral Drop. I'll show you hardcore
Oh,
guys
the channel's name is
already know
Neutral
about
Drop.
this.
I thought he was just gonna drop it onto a piece of glass. A neutral drop, I see. So many windows getting broken for YouTube. Yeah. True. Is the prime Edson? Are the window breaker tools just ceramic from spark plugs too? I don't know. I don't manufacture them. I don't really know what they are. I imagine it's just ceramic. Oh yeah, if in case you guys haven't seen the video I posted on the second channel, if any of you still use Sony Vegas, you may have noticed that it won't open for you right now, and it hasn't been able to open for the last 3 days. There's been no word from Magix on fixing that, but it's a problem that everyone's experiencing. The only way around it is to unplug your Ethernet and then start it up. So there's the method just in case any of you use that. It's a tier 1 life in the resub DRP. So you can reconnect after it's open? Yeah, once it's open you can connect again. You just have to start it with the Ethernet, or with no internet access. It stopped you from opening it because their licensing checks are broken. Yeah, I don't exactly know what the reason, or exactly how this bug happened, but on May 2nd, every single person, at least that I've seen, couldn't open it anymore, including me. So I had to find a workaround from some people on Twitter that started hypothesizing fixes. The official response from them is to set your date back before it stopped working. I did not see that. I saw that as like a theoretical solution, but I haven't tried that myself. It's easier just to unplug the Ethernet when you start up Vegas.